I think at first I want to just address what I mean by like the book that didn't exist, because I'm sure that there are so many incredible climate books that exist, and I'm not pretending that I am the first person to have written a good climate book. I think it's more that I personally felt quite either intimidated by a lot of the climate literature that existed already, because it was kind of assumed a lot of knowledge that I didn't really have at the start of my journey, or they were like kind of always or very often written by old white men who would talk about like trying to restore nature to how it was when colonizers first arrived, and like how nature was just for the enjoyment of white people and not like a home for so many communities. And it didn't really like, I didn't really feel pulled into their vision of what the future could be like. And so I think that when I was writing it, I really wanted to try and like remember how I was back, I don't know, 5 years ago, however long it was, or before then, when what was it that felt kind of intimidating, and what was it that wasn't pulling me into that vision of other people, and how could I try and um, not leave behind people who maybe are like a bit earlier in their journey in what I'm writing, and try and kind of give that vision of a transformed world that I felt like I was missing elsewhere. I think what I find so exciting about coalition is that it's not as complicated as we make it out to be. It's just like our groups that might work on specific issues coming together and realizing that we can create and do so much more when we work on our kind of shared interests, and see the kind of common ground that we share. And I look to the past of groups that have done this before, and coalitions that have been built before, whether it is the kind of sit-in that happened with the disability justice movement, that you can see in the documentary Crip Camp, or if it was the Black Panthers, and white working class groups and Puerto Rican groups that came together in a rainbow coalition, or even today, if we're seeing trade unions and climate groups that have been previously pitted against each other, realizing that they have a common enemy, and then coming together instead. I think that we can see that so much is possible, and that what it requires of us is just kind of to reach out to other groups that we see, and work with them. Um, I have found the Stop Rosebank campaign to be really exciting, because it's a great kind of entry point for a lot of people to join into. And through their campaigning, they've managed to make Equinor, which is a company that loads of people didn't really know about, into kind of one of the baddies, and that people are really wanting to tackle. I have also found there's a group of like Latin diaspora, based in the UK, called Somos Semillas, and they're like working on trying to like unite Latin diaspora to work in solidarity with their siblings on the front lines. And I found that to be also super exciting. And then there's another group called Black Girl Environmentalist, which is a really great one that people can join, especially for what's for Black women, and Black non-binary people, to have a space for us in the climate movement. But like beyond that, like movements kind of all over the world, I've just been seeing so many more kind of very small groups set up that are like working in partnership with Indigenous communities, and like offering like solidarity in like a really meaningful way, whether it's like Resist Glencore, or other groups. I found those to be really, really inspiring, of like reaching out and offering a hand, of not in charity, but realizing that like our collective survival is connected, and so we have to help each other out.